All right, now it is time to get started. So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to start with each section and work our way across. For example, we're going to start with our self-created, and we're going to work through line, shape, form, value, color, texture, and space all on this one, and then we'll move down to the second row, and then we'll move down to the description. So we're going to chunk it out from the top and then work our way down. So we're not going to go by column left and right. We're going to go from the top and work our way down. So to get started, we're going to work on our self-created section. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in by clicking Command plus, and that will zoom me in just a little bit closer so I can have a better look at my canvas here. Now, the first thing we need to do is add a new layer, so then we can make a new layer on top of our template. So what we're going to do is simply go over to this icon here that says layers. Now, if you don't see this, what I want you to do is go up to where it says window, and we're going to go down to where it says workspace, and we're going to click Essentials Classic. So we're going to go to our layer section, which looks like these two little squares layered on top of each other. And where it says working layer, let's go ahead. We're going to double click where it says working layer, and we're going to call this self-created. And once you finish, you can go ahead and just hit return on your keyboard. And now it's time to get drawing. So the first thing we need to do is go over to the left side, which is this is our toolbar. And we're going to select this little brush here. So it's the paintbrush tool. You can also get to it by pressing B as in boy on your keyboard. And now we have our paintbrush tool. So right now, I know I'm going to be painting with black, okay? Because if I look down here, I see that I'm painting with black. If you want to change your color, you can just double click and pick any color that you want, and then you can go ahead and change it to that color there. Now, let's say I didn't mean to color this in quite yet. I can just hit Command D on my keyboard, and that'll take me back to the black line. So again, to change the color, I'm just going to click on this box here, change that. I'm going to change it to purple, why not, and hit OK. And now I'm ready to start drawing some lines. So to do this, what we're going to do is just think about different types of lines. So I'm going to try and add a variety of lines. I'll throw in some diagonal lines. I'm going to add a squiggly line here. I might add another kind of dashed line up here. So kind of get creative with it while you're making these. And that way you can kind of get a sense of how these lines are working. If you want to kind of switch it up and then go from having a sharp line to a zigzag line or something like that, feel free to get creative. If you want to change the color a few times, go ahead. Again, you just have to double click this box that's labeled your stroke tool or labeled stroke. We can change it to blue, and then that way we can have a whole bunch of different lines happening here. Now get creative again, have fun with this. Feel free to spend as much time on each of these so they also look good. Now be sure you give me a variety of all of these, and that way you have this whole box filled in with different colors and lines. Now, you're going to do the same thing with shape, form, value, color, texture, and space. So get creative. Shape, think about what shapes you could draw. Form's going to be a little bit difficult, but if you want to make an easy form, you would just make one square here. You can make another square like this, and then you just connect the corners, and that'll give you a cube. And then what you can do is just kind of color in one side here like this all the way in, and then on another side just color it in part of the way. So we have it all the way colored in here, and then here we're just going to kind of fill it in a little bit. And then you can also make a cone. Now again, these are the forms of the more difficult ones, so just try the best that you can. It's also difficult on your computer without a tablet to do this. Value, again, is the lightness and darkness of an area. So you would have different values from light on one side to dark on another. Color, give me a bunch of different colors from down here. And then texture, see if you can just come up with different texture. It might be similar to your line, and that's okay. And then space, see if you can give me something that represents positive or negative space. Now, once you finish all of these, you're ready to move on to your image section. But before you do, you need to go back to your layer section. and go ahead and click this little lock button. So again, right to the right of my eyeball, you'll see a little empty box. Go ahead and just click once with your mouse, and that's going to lock that layer. So now I can't draw anymore on that one layer. And that way, when I move on to my image, I don't end up messing any of my drawings up.